Exactly.
Yes, Bala, hi. How are things? We are back on Bits and Banter, and we are stuck as always.
Good morning, Raj. Nice to catch
Yes. Okay. So
after a small hiatus
yes,
after post Diwali.
yes,
We were hogging our Bhakshanams.
yes. Yeah, Diwali. See, who? I mean, I'm very. I mean, I'm very surprised that people actually talk about cracker ban. I mean, if I were the government, I will ban food ban, sweets. So, because
No, man. Then I
I
need
end
to
up
stay
eating.
away from you. I can't do.
No, nor can I.
No, yeah.
The problem is that see what you eat during those 5 days actually compensate for the entire year. No, that's so. Anyway, I think we are
Very
that.
true. Very true.
Yeah, we are not talking about food and Diwali. We are here to talk about some interesting changes that the Big Bash League has brought about in its rules for this year, and just
Exactly.
wondering whether it makes sense at a global level in T20 competition to make T20 more exciting. I don't know whether it needed to be more exciting, but yeah, we'll discuss that. But first thoughts, or do you think I should just tell what the rules are, what are the changes, or you want to pick up from there?
Yeah, because I mean, you just run through it secondly
Yeah,
for the
okay.
sake of clarity.
Yes. So the first one is called power surge. Power surge is where you actually get 4 overs of power play at the beginning, and then two
Right,
overs
understood.
in between somewhere else. So I mean
Between
something.
11th and 20th,
Yes, 20,
from
yeah,
11th to 20th over.
20th over. So it's essentially like your power play in the ODIs, which has not seems to have had much of a difference because people have started
No, no.
standardized it. Yeah, and
Batting power
this,
play, that this is the batting power play
that,
rule that we had between 2011 and 2015.
yes, yes. And then there is the X Factor player, which is essentially a super sub in a new name, where basically the guy can at the 10th over mark of the innings, you can substitute a player.
Right at the first 10th over.
Yes, first 10th over.
Okay.
So this player named 12th or 13th on the team sheet can replace any player who is yet to bat or has bowled no more than 1 over. So basically,
Exactly.
it means that a bowler bowls one bad over, and then the captain can say, "Okay, you get out, and I'll bring somebody else in." So that is
We'll
what it
discuss
means.
that. We'll
Yes,
discuss
yeah.
that.
And the third one is called Bash Boost, which is basically you are giving 4 points for every win, three for the
No,
overall win, 3 points for the
3
overall
points.
win, plus a Bash Boost point, which is awarded halfway through the chase. The team chasing will receive the point if they are above the equivalent score of their opposition. So
And among the
essentially,
3 rules, this is the one that has triggered a lot of
yes.
discussion.
So why don't you pick up from on that? I think
We'll start off with the first one. You
yes,
started with the power surge.
yes,
Yeah, because that is the batting power play. That's the kind of batting power play rule that we had between 2011 and 2015 in ODIs.
yes,
See, it was dropped, so it didn't work. It didn't work in the ODIs. At least that is the idea. Because when you drop an idea, because apparently it didn't work, but
yes,
that is the kind of rule they have brought it back. See, in essence, I'm not against this particular rule where the team, where the power play is split. But where I differ is the batting, but the power play is the 2 overs split is taken by the batting team. I would rather have the bowling team have this choice
yes,
because it gives them an option because it evens out the battle. Already it is lopsided in favor of the batting team. The T20 in its essential construct is in favor of the batsman. So you are adding to it. So that is where my worry is because already see between 11 and 20. So bulk of the thing is between 15 and 20, which anyway the bowlers are going for runs and you're further handicapping them by fielding restrictions.
yes,
I don't think that would be the right thing to do at this point.
yes,
But perhaps, you have to talk it from the BBL point of view. This is not going to be for all T20s.
yeah,
Perhaps they feel because they are facing a situation where the crowds are dwindling, there is not enough support. That is the general idea. So they want the crowds to be brought back. And the only way they can think of is by having a big sixes and more hitting, more frenzied hitting. So they thought this should be the route. I can't speak for what is happening in Australia, but in general, I'm not in favor of the batting team having even more advantage. I mean, we're getting more advantage than they are now.
Yeah. So see, I mean, look at it from two different points. I mean, just to continue from what you said, uh, BBL. The BBL's challenge, if anything, is more to do with. I mean, the crowds not coming is probably more to do with the fact that you don't have an Indian presence. I mean, if BCCI allows some Indian players to go and participate there, you will have the Indian crowds coming in, and Indian crowds make up the maximum in any bloody stadium anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah,
You have a
exactly.
nice Indian contingent there. Second is the size of the stadiums, the size of the fields are far bigger than the Indian one, so six sitting becomes that much tough. But the third part, which I'm worried about with this change, I mean, if at all, I don't know, we need to see how it works. Is like you said, I mean, imagine a scenario where with the guy takes power play in I don't know, over number 19 and 20. Then what happens? I mean, that looks very weird. So which essentially is taking away the that see 1920 is as much the bowlers as the batsmen. We have seen in this IPL how many times actually bowlers came nailed Yorkers. Natarajan, Yorker Natarajan. I think we should call him Yorker Natarajan.
Yorker Natarajan.
So you had Yorker Natarajan, Yorker Archer, even Yorker Shami. So
But Raj,
often not.
just to interject, you talk of the better bowlers. Think of somebody like Karthik Tyagi, one of your favorites. See, he is handicapped, no? When he has fielding restrictions at the back end, he's an youngster. He is growing up the ladder.
That is another point. I mean, I have not even reached there. See, I'm talking about 19-20 overs. Now, look at it this way: if the batting team actually slots those two power play overs for the guy they think they can go after, that is where what you say becomes a complete disaster, because then you might as well have a bowling machine there. So you're right. I think we are in agreement on this, surprisingly, but then which is fine. So yeah, I think yeah, that is true. I think if at all anything, it should be the bowling team's prerogative, not the batting team's prerogative, to have those two overs. I think makes sense. Yeah.
Raj, before we go on to discuss the other two aspects, I'll ask you a very fundamental question. Were things broken for them to be fixed in the first place, for these rules to be thought of in the first place? Are you in favor of these rules in the first place? Because there is already a criticism that by players and some well-meaning critics like Harsha Bhogle.
Yeah, I totally think of that, because see, sometimes what happens is you tend to overthink these things. See, look at it this way. See, the BBL maybe not getting the sort of, why BBL? I mean, you had the Pakistan, I think my internet connection is unstable, like me. The Pakistan team, Pakistan played the remainder of the whatever league, that is PSL, pre and post COVID, right? Nobody noticed who won. And look, I mean, some of the players who came, I was actually putting a count of all the players who were part of the PSL, who were part of the
Karachi won, man. They won.
They won, yeah. I know. I mean, the first time, the two teams in the finals came for the first time. We all know that. But then I'm saying, look at the interest level there. Even in Pakistan, the interest level is limited. See, now the reason why IPL and maybe CPL to some extent, even CPL, because CPL is a different animal. We'll talk about it some other time. IPL gets it because of this huge mix of international players coming in. Now, if BCCI is not allowing the Indian players to sort of return the compliment, or at least forget about the test and ODI players, the guys who are contracted, you can send why should Ishan Kishan not play in the BBL? I don't know. So look at it this way.
Just on that note, on that particular rule, because even BBL has a problem with because it usually allows only 2 players. Only this year they have allowed 3 players in the team.
Yeah. And then you look at it. See, the fact is that
they have a limit on the number of foreign players they can carry in the squad also, not just in the team.
It is a question of money there, well, isn't it? I mean,
money.
Look at the total amount of money spent on BBL and compare it with IPL. It's not even a patch. And the BCCI is understanding. I don't get it, because we have had Smriti Mandhana and what's her name? I mean, 3-4 players playing. I think Jemimah Rodrigues, Smriti Mandhana, and
Mithali Raj.
No, Mithali didn't play. I don't know. Harmanpreet is definitely a star there. So that is where the challenge is. So I mean, these guys tweaking the rules, I don't think is going to make a huge difference. And I think again, I'm in agreement that it wasn't broken to be fixed. I don't think anything was broken to be fixed. I think we'll leave it there and let us see how it pans out over the BBL. We'll watch, and we'll probably come back with.
We'll discuss the other two rules. Other two rules.
Yeah. Now the X Factor.
The other 2 rule is the X Factor.
Yeah.
X Factor.
Yeah.
See, X factor is then again the super sub rule, but the super sub rule didn't work because you have to nominate only one player right at the start for ODIs.
Yes.
Now you have a flexibility where in this BBL you are allowed two players, which can be a batsman and a bowler. So you can tweak your strategy depending upon the situation that the team is in, whether you need a batsman, extra batsman, or an extra bowler, depending upon the situation where at the end of the 10th over in the first innings, you are allowed to make a change. So this, and going forward, the BBL idea is it can be extended to, even if the squad is bigger, you can extend it to any number of players where you can pick the player you want. That's in principle okay. But the real problem is there are two aspects. One, which Darren Lehman has also talked about, you're going to substitute a player who has not done much in the game, either a batsman who has not gotten in, or you can remove a bowler who has at best bowled a single over. Just imagine, I mean, he can always go back and tell the captain or the coach, why did you remove me? You didn't give me a chance. How the hell can you remove me? You found me good enough to be picked in the 11. Now you want me to be removed. He can always, he has a moral right to question. This is something like football. This sometimes, I mean, cricket is slightly moving towards, that's the one criticism is cricket is moving towards football in terms of structure and rules. But a player can very well ask this question. You had a different strategy when you started. You can't change the strategy midstream. I mean, he can ask, but anyway, the captain or the coach will come back with some kind of an answer. But these are the questions that are going to come up.
I'll give a counter to that. Now, imagine if a person is taken only to bowl 1 over. So basically now the entire matchup story might take a different toss because you don't know who's going to come in.
Exactly.
So this entire, see now it will become a bigger headache for coaches and captains who go with the matchup theory. At least there will be one matchup which can never happen because you don't know, you have no clue who's going to come in. You know only after the 10th over. So
Raj, the bigger problem is there is another worry that you will be very uncomfortable with, because this gives a longer handle for the coaches to plan the strategy, because it will get even more operated from the dugouts.
Yes. That is also there. So this is what I'm saying. So I really see, we said that earlier, that there's nothing to be fixed here. So the entire super sub or whatever you call it, super two subs, twin tubs, I don't know, whatever it is, twin tub washing machine, no, twin sub team, whatever. So this twin sub thing looks completely, to me, it looks completely tacky because I mean, so let us take an IPL team and just see where we land with. Let us take, I mean, the first team that comes to mind is Rajasthan Royals because they are at the bottom. Or let us take CSK, our favorite team. So,
okay.
I mean, no, let us not take CSK because they didn't have too many subs inside here. So this was not planned; it just came out. Okay. So
I know.
Yeah. So look at Rajasthan Royals. Imagine we take Rajasthan Royals as a side. So who's the batsman and who's the bowler who can come in?
Depends upon the situation.
Imagine you need. And now what if the super sub? I mean, you basically play O'Shane Thomas in the team and have Jofra Archer as the super sub. What happens then?
So, you can actually gain 1 over.
Yes. Exactly. see how this entire dynamics work. Okay. So you are right. I think you are right. Now suddenly the entire goddamn game will be from the dugout. So I mean, actual cricket might be lost.
I mean, Trent Woodhill, who has come up with these suggestions for BBL, he's one of the consultants for. He was one of the fielding coaches for RCB, if you remember. Trent Woodhill, who is supposed to be the person who has come up with thought of these things. He says it will make. I mean, he is in favor of strategies coming from the coaches. He says that he would want it that way because coaches are going unquestioned. Now he says now people will ask, why did you do that? Why did you not do this or do that? Something or that. He is in favor of that. I mean, there is a different school of thought on this.
Yeah, which is okay. See, now when you have coaches, they need to be questioned. Now the point is that we have questioned coaches so many times. I mean, I think in one of the shows we actually singled out Brendan McCullum as the elephant in the KKR room. So, which is fine. I think that is a different story. What I am saying is that, I mean, see, at the end of the day, strategy matters. I'm not saying strategy doesn't matter, but then the fact is that when two teams are strategizing or two coaches are strategizing, they need to also factor in this think that, okay, are these people capable of delivering? So that is not something which is in your hands.
It is fine.
Unlike in football, but then this is different. So I don't know. I mean, I personally feel that even the super sub or super double sub, whatever it is called, or X factor, I think would remain an X factor only, spelled with an
But
EX.
frankly, I'm all for these changes. Try it, man.
Yeah,
For
it's
the
fine.
heck of it. Just for the.
So,
I was in favor of super sub rule. I think I'm probably the only person who was in favor of this super over where it was a bowl out, not in terms of. We remember we had a situation in 2007 India versus Pakistan where it was a bowl out. Nobody is in favor of that. I am in favor of that. I liked it for some reason.
So who can forget Robin Uthappa bowling out? All he needed to do was bowl straight.
Yeah.
Hey, nera porra.
He did it.
Yeah.
And you had three wonderful Pakistan bowlers not even hitting the even
So, which is something the coaches would be scratching their head out, because I mean, if you can't hit the wicket even once with your deliveries, then what are you playing cricket for, man? So
that rule was thrown away. There was no cricket skill involved because it's just about bowling.
Yeah.
So, but it is kind of a clear penalty shootout.
Now,
I liked
it. Imagine what Umesh Yadav would have done, man. Anyway,
imagine super over deciding a World Cup final.
I know. No, but then I won't mind that also, man. Compared to what happened last year, so where the number of fours you hit decided the winner. So,
but I had a problem with that. I mean, much of our anger or angst against that particular rule came because not many of us were inclined to see New Zealand lose or England win. So if it had been other way around, we would have been okay.
I would still have said, look, I mean, it is not a great way of.
It is not a great way.
You could have probably played two super overs, right? Like we do in IPL, you could have played two
without putting too fine a point on it. I'll agree that it is just that our unhappiness stemmed more from England winning.
That was always there, but then I personally.
But anyway, the players and the administrators at least knew. I mean, you and I may not have known the rule. They knew the rule before they started out.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll leave that. And the third rule, the third one which you are talking about, is the bash boost. What are your thoughts on the bash boost?
This is the most contentious of all the other. Among the three rules, in the sense, this kind of sets the tone for how the team should approach any chase. Yes. Or you cannot dictate how a team should bat. See, even if the pitch is bad, I can straight away put up a huge score in the first 10 overs so that I makes it difficult for the chasing team. I can do that. Or when I see straight away puts it somebody like Dhoni who likes it to take it deep, he puts him at a disadvantage. No, say I can strategize, I can play to my strengths because I know the team and the opposing bowlers by taking it to deep. But now it is at a disadvantage because halfway down the line, you have to look at the score. So I have to play right. Almost similar to what the previous team had done.
So
this 1 point, it is it takes out the net run rate, but if just 1 point is going to get me into the playoffs, imagine I can for the win. I'll just play for this 1 point.
Other than that, I have another issue here because this is a bit like one of the suggestions that Tendulkar made for 50 over ODIs, where he said you can play ODIs in 2 innings. Remember, so you can have a first innings 25 plays, 25 overs, 25 and 25. You can do that. That was his thought. Now, in a way, this also is similar. Now we'll probably have 2 innings in a T20 match because you are playing the first 10 overs differently, the next 10 overs differently. So which, like you said, it doesn't give you a proper strategy across this thing. And then, so now look at it this way. Should we go hammer and should the guy, no, you don't leave much option for the team batting first, but to go hell for leather to get as much as possible in the first 10 overs in the hope that of that 1 point, right? In the process, what happens is they could lose wickets or they need to sort of figure out, okay, till when do I go? And in the second, this thing, again, you are like you said, again, you are saying the same thing, that where you are actually deciding how the team should bat in the first 10 overs. So you are taking away the freedom of the coaches. Now, which one is true? So if, what's the guy's name you just mentioned, right? On the one hand, you are saying that it should be played in the dugouts. So this rule probably takes it away from you from the dugouts, right? Completely. Think about that. In my mind, how do you say, okay, this is what?
See, because then again, this is the problem. The problem is, then again, they are going the football way, because football gives you 3 points for a win because you get 1 point for a draw. There is no draw in cricket. So they have artificially come up with a 1 point so that they can justify this 3 points. So then again, you see, you can't dictate how a team should approach a chase, man.
Yeah, why approach
That's
a chase,
the beauty
Bala?
of it. No.
My point is, why approach a chase? Why, even the setting a total, even there it becomes important, right? See, now what does the rule say? It says
Yes.
that 3 for the overall win plus the big bash point awarded halfway through the chase. The team chasing will receive the point if they are above the equivalent score. If they are behind, the fielding side will receive the point. So, okay, the 1 point that demarcation is fair enough. But the thing is that how many teams would actually then go for an outright win, like you said, and say, okay, let me first go for the win and then see how it works. So their entire bowling strategy, batting strategy, everything. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give you an absurd situation, 210. Yeah, a team is chasing 210. So, but it starts off going for the leather right at the start, and it's in at the 10th over mark, it's ahead of the at 90 for 5 or something. But end of the 20th over, it loses 4 more wickets and ends up at 120 or something. Imagine ending at 130, chasing a 210 score, 1 point. It's a more than an innings defeat, but still you get 1 point. That is a bit of a.
Yeah, so that I'm not clear, because are they saying that you will still get that 1 point? I don't know. I mean, that is not clear. I mean, if you lose,
yes.
you do
I
get.
checked it. I checked it.
Okay. Well,
yes, even if you lose it, you'll get that 1 point.
Get 1 point. That also seems quite dumb. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, see, if you look at a lot of the Mumbai Indians batting card, you will see that the last 5 overs generates the maximum runs. They have a strategy that, again, take a team from the IPL, because it's recent.
Because I told you, Dhoni.
Yes.
Dhoni.
Yeah, Dhoni is a classic example. Guys who take it deep, or guys who want to sort of, when they are setting a total, the typical the Hardik Pandya, what is it, Kieron Pollard sort of innings. Last 5 overs, you sort of go berserk. So, I mean, these are things. I mean, this is the fun element of the IPL. Now, you are not.
But just to be fair to them, see, having introduced this power surge, the 2 over mark in the second part, they kind of balance it to get that first 10 over also. So in that sense,
so which is my problem. You are sort of doing. I mean, so it is working in my mind. You said it exactly, Bala. That is actually my problem. These are counterintuitive, is what I feel.
Okay.
It's either one or the other. Like our friend Subbu says, ya to chatur bolo ya goda bolo. I mean, it can't be both. So here, chatur goda is not working for me. You either see, like you said it, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the rule number 3 seems to be to balance out rule number 1. In which case, why have rule number 1?
You have to tweak something now. Since you have given me the idea to work on something, I have to come up with something. Yes. I mean, you know how modern corporates work. This is exactly similar to that.
Yes. Yeah, you have created something because you were asked to create something, and you couldn't come back and say, I have nothing to create, which would have been
never
more
know. Some of these things that are thought up in Australia go on to impact in other places. This eliminator rule, I mean, IPL didn't have it at the start. See, so we had it only sometime in the middle. This eliminator, and it is one of those hit ideas. It's a very popular idea. So something like that can happen. See, even this colored clothing, colored night cricket, colored balls, these things all came from Australia. So some of these things may work.
I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying that, like I said, I mean, we will probably have the same conversation once we see how BBL progresses.
How it pans out.
Yeah, and what we see out of BBL. As of now, I think we can conclude safely by saying, why fix something which is ain't broken, like the American.
Actually, I'm excited. I want some of these rules too. I am happy about the super sub rule. I mean, just to add to some kind of fun element, but people who know more cricket than me have declared this as gimmicks. So there should be some point to that also. I'll straight away concede that point. But I'm kind of
See, I'm sure.
I'm pretty curious how these things
work. To be honest, I'll be very. I mean, let us be very honest. I don't think we would have talked about the number of fours being the decision maker for a cricket match ever. Yeah, till it happened.
Exactly.
Right. So you might go through one season with no weird situation coming, and then suddenly you will find that, oh, you know what, we didn't think about this. Obviously, human mind can't think of every scenario that can emerge. So, I mean, we'll leave it there. I think we'll just say that, okay, good luck. But then, will it bring more people to the grounds? Definitely no, not because of anything else, because of COVID.
So this is going to be a long BPL, man. It starts on December 10th and goes up to February. And it is clashing with their international season. It's a strange BPL, and some of their bigger players, Varner, Smith, they are not going to be there. Cummins, they are not going to be there. It's a very interesting BPL. So they need some kind of a artificial impetus to work. So good luck to them.
Yeah, which is probably what it is. I think we will conclude there. So now these are the real reasons, because when you have India and Australia playing in Australia and clashing with the BBL, high hopes. I mean, even the Aussies won't want to watch it. I mean, why would they want to watch that?
I wouldn't know, man. Let's hope.
Look at it this way. The Aussies are a very proud nation. I mean, they are very proud of their sporting achievements and skills. And don't forget that now they have a bone to pick with India this time, and they have a good chance. See, already look at the number of reactions, responses that have come from Virat Kohli going back after the first test. So so it's although people like McGrath, Payne, Tim Payne, and all have been very, very nice, and they've said the right things, they've made the right noises. But I'm sure that the noises will change when the guys get out on the field. And these guys know each other extremely well. So look at the number of players who would be facing off. Guys who were teammates, suddenly they find themselves. I think a good chunk of I think Tim Payne probably is the only unlucky one in the test, right? Most of the others are in the. Oh, Nathan Lyon is not there. Mitchell Starc didn't come, so he is there, but he didn't come. Josh Hazelwood is there.
I don't think he's playing in the BBL. Mitchell Starc, I don't think.
Yeah, he's not playing. He's there, but I think he's there in the team, but I don't think he's coming.
He says he's not ready to go through the stress and strain of another bubble.
Yeah. Which is why he dropped out of IPL also, right?
Also, exactly. So, I know, it's a personal call, man.
Yeah. See, the only guys who would be new to the India-Australia thing would be Tim Payne, which is, he has always been there, and the bunch of new guys who have come into the Aussie team for this thing. But otherwise, pretty much everyone is they know each other well. So I feel that maybe the gimmick, the gimmicks this is generally a gimmick just to tell people, oh, you know what, watch the BBL for this reason. So that is the way I'm seeing it. Let's hope for the best and see what happens.
But I'm happy that one of the rules that they suggested was a free hit for wides also. Luckily, that didn't happen. So
see that entire thought of a free hit of a no ball itself is a little weird, because the batsman will say, the bowler is getting another chance to get me out. But then you should say, if it's not a free hit, then I'm bowling another ball, but then you will get out. In which case, people like Moeen Ali will be very happy.
I know you, because you can't stop.
For me, that was the moment of the IPL. Man. I can't imagine something like that. So, poor Moeen Ali, I like the guy actually. I love the way he bats, and the fact that in one Test match, I think he actually outwitted Ashwin to become the most successful bowler in that Test, if you remember.
Yeah,
Southampton Test, yes. So good guy, but then this was, it just was laugh worthy. You can't help doing that.
Absolutely.
The guy finds one way out of many modes to get out. I said, oh, you know what? You think I can't get out? I'll show you how.
But he was following in the footsteps of Kedar Jadhav.
That is a different complete. Kedar Jadhav, so basically, anyway. So I think Kedar Jadhav will probably be the part.
Since you brought your favorite incident from this tournament, I had to bring my favorite player.
Yeah. So I'm sure Kedar Jadhav will be part of the 9th team that is coming up next year. So hopefully we'll catch up then. So I think we'll stop now.
Right. Bye.
This is going anywhere. Thanks, Bala. We'll catch up later. See you and keep watching and keep sharing. And that's it. See you around. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.